I built a supplement brand to over $1 million a month by following 6 simple steps.
So good.
And I've been running this brand for about 1.5 years. So if you want to learn from an actual operator, that's what this video is. There's only a couple good people out there that are actually showing you stuff who actively run businesses full-time every single day. Here's Amazon, and here's the last 3 months on Shopify. And sneak peek, here's why we like supplement brands, a 70% returning customer rate. That's bonkers. Now let's not put the cart before the horse. Before we get into all the sales and making money, you have to come up with a good product, because at the end of the day, my business is subscription based and we want people to come back. You can't do that if the product is not inherently good. So there's 3 main things with your product that you have to keep in mind, especially when you're launching the first product underneath a supplement brand. Number 1, the product has to taste good. There is no way around this. Even if it's the healthiest thing in the world and it cures cancer, your product might flop and will get bad reviews if it tastes poor. I will share a personal story with data to back this up at the end of the video. The second thing with a product is make sure you're not going mass market. You actually want to niche down on your first product. Don't think protein powder, think ashwagandha thing that helps you wind down at the end of the night and specifically helps people who struggle to sleep. We want to go small. We don't want the widest market. We want something that's a little bit different that allows us to stand out. Even if that narrows the customer pool, that gets cash flow moving. That gets it off the ground, and that's what we're looking for. And number 3 builds off of that, and that's looking at competition. I'm not afraid of having a lot of big sellers on Amazon for a similar product if I can get it moving with Facebook ads on our website or TikTok shop. I just need one opening. And a quick bonus for you to try to do that, if you can change the form of the product, that is the perfect situation. Hey, this is really popular with powders, but nobody's really made a good gummy for it. Or there's a lot of pills, but there's no powders. Whatever it might be, you could change the form of the product without actually changing the product and the ingredients itself. Number 2 is manufacturing. This is a really important piece of the business. You have big manufacturers and little manufacturers. Both have pros and cons. The big ones are great because they know what they're doing. They have a clean facility and they're not going to screw you over, and they can make it at scale if it blows up. But you're going to need a lot of money to start with them because their order requirements are huge. I just placed one with a manufacturer. They required 21,000 units per flavor. We're doing 2. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars to even remotely start something, which is not an option when you're first getting started. You want to prove your concept small. Now, an important thing to remember is depending on your product with a manufacturer, you might struggle to have them make it taste good. And some manufacturers can try to make the same thing, but why is one of them so much better? They all cook it differently. Depending on what the product is, they're going to make it differently. And so that's why it can be very important to get samples depending on the complexity of your product. If you're doing gummies or a powder, I would recommend trying it from 2 or 3 different manufacturers to see which one tastes the best. A pro tip for you though with manufacturers, when you are trying to order a small amount and you're asking them if you can go even smaller, the last thing you should be trying to do is beat them up over price. Give them a reasonable number for what they want, especially if they're willing to discount the size of the order. In fact, I would rather pay a premium to be able to order less right away just to start with less cash up front, even today. All right, now that we've got the product figured out and now we have manufacturing hopefully sorted, now we're actually gonna start launching this thing. So step 3 is gonna be branding. And a lot of people don't think about this, and some people feel like it's permanent. You can always change stuff, but branding is very important. In fact, that alone can set you apart in a very competitive space. With labels, you kind of have 3 approaches. You have the clinical, medical type look where it's really minimalist, has a white background, black text, kind of boring, hard to stand out. The second one is crazy colorful, paint splashes, you're all over the place, it looks nuts. That's a good way maybe to get attention, but some of that's played out with certain products. The third can be a more organic, all natural. So depending on your type of product, you can have more like gentle colors and greens and tan sand type colors. You can do that and kind of play into the brand. If you're going for the organic gut health vibe, have gentle colors. Don't have it be all crazy, right? So kind of try to make it fit the brand and understand that this will change. Make something decent, and once you prove your concept, then you can spend a lot of time and a little bit of money to do this properly. Now, the 2 things you should pay close attention to when starting is the overall label that you are using. You don't want to rush this. I've seen people do that. They use a subpar designer, they rush it to get something to market, and then it looks like crap. It doesn't communicate the product very effectively. This is not a good option. The second thing is you want to also focus a lot on the graphic design. You only need 4 to 7 listing photos, and you can use them on every platform. We have the same ones on Amazon, our website, TikTok shop, but those are really important. Again, that communicates your product. Take time to do that and give a designer examples. Just go look at the big supplement brands, take screenshots of what they do and say, hey, put in our product info, make something like this. Don't copy it exactly. Their framework is clearly working. Now, number 4 is where we start making money, and this is called traffic. How do we get eyeballs to our product? You could make your product $1 on your website and $1 on TikTok, and guess what? Nobody's gonna buy it. Why? Because there's no eyeballs. Nobody has seen it. And just because you lower your price doesn't mean somebody's gonna see it. That's a conversion rate thing. More people who do see it will buy it if it's cheaper, but naturally you have to get people to see it. And there's two types of traffic. We have cold traffic, people who don't know who you are and you are trying to get in front of them. And you have warm traffic. There's different types of this. I'll talk about that. Cold traffic is really, really important. This is how you get people aware of your brand and try to move them through the process of knowing your product, understanding it, and wanting to buy it. And there's a lot of things you can do on this list. I mean, you've got TikTok Shop, you've got Facebook ads, you've got Instagram ads, you've got Google ads. There's a whole bunch of pieces to the puzzle. So what's important to start with? We always launch our brands on TikTok Shop because we can make a lot of content. As the founder, you can make a lot of content and it doesn't cost you anything. You can also send free samples to people on TikTok so that other creators can make videos for you in exchange for commission. That's still cold traffic. I take all those videos and images that we make and I run those as ads on Facebook. That's cold traffic and that's a huge piece of our business. Eventually you can launch Google ads, that should come later. But then you can also hack the system a little bit and you can buy warm traffic. When somebody is making a video on TikTok promoting your product, they're probably a small person that doesn't really have a lot of audience. But what if you go pay an Instagram account $200, let's say you're doing a gut health product and all she talks about is organic products and how it affects your body, and she has 13,000 followers. Well, maybe you pay this lady $200 to promote your product. You now have a person who isn't super well known, but to her audience, she's trustworthy and she's promoting your product. So the people that are seeing it are now warm because they know, like, and trust the person who's promoting your product. And in fact, we see on average, when we do influencer promotions and we spend a lot of money there, that we get 50% higher average order value from those customers. They take our subscription at twice the rate and they stay a lot longer. So the customers are actually worth a lot more to us because, again, they're coming in with a trusted source, not from a skeptical ad or something. Which brings us into point number 5. And that is LTV, lifetime value of a customer. I want people for my products to ideally take a subscription, get it delivered monthly. You need the product, it runs out every month, you use it regularly, you get the benefits because of it. So we educate people on our website, we have education about it, we do that a little bit in our ads, and that causes more people to subscribe. Or people can just come back and buy it again. Plenty of people do that. I don't know why. We have people that have bought my product 13 times in the last year. They don't take a subscription, but they just rebuy it. And eventually you'll launch other products and people can come back, maybe through email or they follow you on Instagram and they'll buy your other products. These are repeat customers. You've already paid for them. And this is where it gets really important with running ads. And we'll talk about this in a second. But if there's one key takeaway you get from this video, here's an important one. Understand that online ads are only getting more expensive. So there's two things you can do, and these are the only two things you can do. You can either A, get people to spend more money. This is a higher average order value, which usually means you can just sell a more expensive product. People who are selling $20 slippers, struggling. Guys that are selling $5,000 saunas, not struggling. Because over time, the ad cost will naturally just get more expensive. The second thing you can do is LTV. Have that customer and know for a fact that on average, most people come back and shop with you again. And the sixth is gonna be what I call the flywheel. This is making all the first 5 work together in tandem to start scaling. There's a couple fun things you can do here. Hey, now you have customers buying. I'm gonna give each of you a $20 coupon if you leave us a video review. And then you can take that video review from all these people that are sending you videos now because they will, because you're offering them a lot of free coupons for your store. And then you can go run those as ads on Facebook. And that helps get more people in. And then those people, you give them a coupon for the next order and they send you more videos. And now you're a hamster on a wheel that's growing. And that's really awesome. Here's how to win in the supplement space, in my opinion. My goal is just to have people try my product. Because I know for sure I have a good product, my goal is just to get it in front of people. And to be honest, I don't care about making money doing that. As long as I'm ideally not losing money, I know that if I get somebody to try my product, on average, a lot of those people are gonna come and buy it again. This means that my bar for marketing is lower than most of my competitors. The further you can go with lowering the bar for your marketing requirements allows you to scale further. And the person who scales the most gets the most eyeballs, gets the most brand awareness, and has a really good shot to be the biggest brand at the end of the day. Think Uber versus Lyft. I don't know what their marketing bar was and whatnot, but the one was clearly first and more dominant than the other. And so it gives you a really good chance to be able to scale and become a household name in that space. And that is why ultimately ads are very expensive in the supplement space. People like me are willing to break even or lose money because they know on average half the people come back again so they can make the money month 2, month 3. And of course you got to be able to support that cash flow. That's a whole different conversation. But as you grow, you'll understand these metrics. And I think if that's the mindset you can operate within is where, hey, I just want people to try it. I don't even need to make money, just let me break even and try. And I can scale as far as I can at break even. I promise you, in a long enough time horizon, you will absolutely win. you will have the most customers, you will have the most subscriptions, you'll have a nasty amount of people on your email list that you can email, and that makes a ton of money, right? All of these things start to compound. And then people are going to be going over to Amazon because they know who you are, and they're going to buy you on Amazon. That's going to outrank your competitors now because you have outside traffic. This is the flywheel. And this is why I love building in the supplement space, because it's just a fun game to be a part of. Now, as promised, the little story and anecdote about taste and health and whatnot. Why do you think the biggest brands in the world with health products in the supplement space are unhealthy? Because it's true, they are. I actually called it out. I went to CVS, I grabbed a bunch of bottles off the shelf, and I'm like, shit, this is shit, this is shit, this is shit, this is horrible. This is a kid's gummy that's literally poison. I would never give this to my kid. What? Like, there's an insane world out there. People don't care about the products being healthy, and they don't care about it actually being effective. Because here's the buyer psychology. There's two things you have to know. Number one, studies have shown that when somebody purchases something to solve a problem or a perceived problem, the purchase alone constitutes the majority of them thinking they already actually fixed the problem. I'll give you an example. Someone wants to buy a course to learn how to do XYZ, build a website. Internally, they think just by making the action to find the course and buy it, they've already solved most of the problem. That's crazy. And then if you give them a product that tastes good, people are much more likely to continue taking it, right? And so this is what's crazy. If you have a business that offers a good tasting product and it's in the health space, people buy it, and they don't not like the taste, it's at least not a bad experience, they're very likely to stick with you, right? Because they feel like they're already solving their problem. And at the end of the day, it could be a total placebo. Who knows? Is it a sugar pill? I'm sure some people sell that, obviously offer a good product, but people literally don't even know. And that's why the big brands focus more on the product tasting good than they do on the health. And here's the data that I'll back that up with. Inside my own company, the box of stuff I just showed you earlier, we surveyed 9,700 of my customers specifically who bought gummy products. We have powders, we have pills, we have gummies. 9,700 people who bought gummies. I asked them, I said, what matters most to you in a gummy specifically? Taste, texture, or the product actually being effective, like doing the thing the gummy is supposed to do? 81% of people said taste matters. And then you have about half of the rest that said texture, which means that less than 10% of customers out of almost 10,000 said that they care most about the product actually working. This is some information. It's a light version of the type of stuff that we do inside of my coaching groups. If you want more information on that, you can click the top link down below and apply for it. We open applications every couple of weeks. It's a small group, work with me very closely, and one of the team members that I have, you get to see all my internal SOPs. That group watched me build this brand from scratch. They saw the name, the websites, the landing pages, the ads, the influencers, the financials, what's worked, what didn't, the manufacturing, cost of goods. They saw everything. And so if you want to see that sort of stuff and work close with me to build a supplement brand, beauty brand, something that has subscriptions and custom manufacturing, we can help you with every aspect of the process to start or scale. So check that out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value from it. I'll see you in the next one.